the NHL playoff field is already cut in half, down from the original 16 to the 8 still competing. That leaves 25% of the league still vying to be the top 1 and lift Lord Stanley at the end of the run. For this to happen, though, players are going to have to step up and provide that little extra bit to help their team win. In today's video, we are going to locate one player on every team in the playoffs that has historically risen their game. To do this, we will look at a player's 82 game average in the regular season compared to the playoffs, one of my favorite features on Hockey Reference. If your points or goals per 82 games is higher, you're doing what you can to help your team win. I'm also setting the minimum number of career playoff games to 28. That's the maximum possible in a cup run. Some players may tear it up for one series, but sample size is key here. Let's start with the Atlantic Division and the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. The Panthers have obviously had several players step up in key situations over the last 2 years, including a guy like Carter Verhaeghe, who goes from a 60-point player to a 65-point player in the playoffs off the back of 5 overtime goals. But the biggest riser to me has to be Sam Bennett. Bennett really hit his stride after getting traded from the Flames to the Panthers, and his stats show it, especially in the playoffs. Bennett has played at a 42-point pace in the regular season across 691 career games, but rises to a 56-point player in the playoffs, increasing his scoring and assist output across 91 playoff games. The pending UFA is under fire for an elbow that took out Anthony Stolarz in Game 1 against Toronto. Another example of Bennett being a guy you love on your team, but hate to be playing against. Next, we go to the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team that is full of playoff experience, but is lacking a bit of success. Part of the reputation of the Corps has been they don't show up when it counts, but one guy you can't say that about is William Nylander. Nylander has been remarkably consistent in his career, recording 73 points per 82 games across his 685 regular season appearances. However, in 62 playoff games, he produces at a 74-point rate, with his goal scoring ballooning from 31 goals per 82 to 34. He has been spectacular so far in these playoffs as well. His 13 points in 18 games at the time of recording have to make him an early favorite for the Conn Smythe Trophy. Now staying in the East but moving to the Metropolitan Division, how about the Carolina Hurricanes? Like the Leafs, they are no strangers to the playoffs, but have had their hearts broken by the likes of the Rangers and Panthers in the last couple of years. Despite these losses, the top of their lineup has really done their part, including Sebastian Aho. One of the more quiet stars in the league, Aho has averaged 76 points per 82 games in his career, consisting of 677 games. In the playoffs, even better. In 80 games, almost a full season's worth, Aho has recorded 30 goals, slightly less than the 34 he averages in the regular season, but he's up to 79 points. You simply cannot count the Hurricanes out as long as number 20 is doing his thing. Now for the top seed in the East, the Washington Capitals. Now they're a bit of a strange team for this practice. Yes, they do have pieces of the 2018 Cup champion still around, but they also haven't won a series since then. However, one player that played a vital role in that 2018 winner fits this bill perfectly. How about Lars Eller, who the Caps reacquired from the Penguins this season? Eller might be the most forgotten player who's still around the league and has eclipsed over 1,000 games. But he's been in 1,116 games and put up 424 points. That's a very respectable 31-point pace. In 109 playoff games, he has an even 50 points, which is good for a 39-point pace. He scored 5 goals en route to the conference finals with the Canadiens in 2014. Then he scored the Stanley Cup winning goal for the Capitals in 2018, his 7th goal of that run. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention Anthony Beauvillier, who goes from a 35-point performer to a 48-point stud, largely thanks to 2 conference finals runs with the Islanders. Now we move on to the Central with the Winnipeg Jets. Much of that Jets core has been around since their conference final run in 2018, but one riser that wasn't part of that run is defenseman Neil Pionk. Part of the Jacob Trouba trade in 2019, Pionk has been a more than serviceable replacement for Trouba on the back end. His career 39-point pace is perfectly solid to match his defensive impact, but he turns it on when it matters. Sure, he only has 1 career playoff goal in 30 games, but 18 assists is good for a 52-point pace With him signing an extension before the playoffs, he's going to have several chances to add to this total. Next, we move on to their opponent in the Dallas Stars, and all credit in the world to the core that has been there for years, but the answer here is Mikko Rantanen. Come on. In 652 regular season games, Rantanen has been a baller, performing at a 37-goal, 89-point pace. In the playoffs, good God, man. 89 games, 42 goals, 74 assists, 116 points. That's a 107-point pace. He had a slow start in the playoffs against his former team in the Avalanche. Then he just casually dropped a hat trick in the third period of Game 7 to win that game. And then he decided, that was so much fun, I want to do it again. So he recorded another single period hat trick in the second of Game 1 against Winnipeg. Since 2021, the only players with a higher point per game rate are Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Speaking of which, now we go to the Pacific Division and the Edmonton Oilers. Again, this one's easy. You can't say Connor McDavid without also giving love to Leon Draisaitl. Let's start with Draisaitl, who plays at a 99-point pace in the regular season. A lower number than I would have guessed, yet still really good. In the playoffs, he has 81 games, 45 goals, and 120 points. Feel free to take a moment to pause and just laugh at those numbers. Now, Mr. McDavid. Is it even possible to perform better than a 125-point pace in the regular season? Well, how does 91 assists and 131 points in 81 career playoff games sound? The Oilers need 29 and 97 at their best to win, and they have done everything but underperform. And I wrote this Thursday, about 2 hours before the Oilers-Knights game started. That game went to overtime, and what do you know? In overtime, McDavid skating down the ice, breaking Jack Eichel's ankles, past to Leon Draisaitl, OT winner. Add 1 point in one game to each of their stats. And last but certainly not least, the team that lost to the Oilers last night, the Vegas Golden Knights. Pretty much all Vegas has ever known is success in the playoffs, and one of the biggest pieces of that in recent years has been Jack Eichel. The near point per game regular season performer had to wait until his 8th season to get any playoff action, but boy did he deliver. He put up 26 points in 22 games en route to the 2023 Stanley Cup, a performance that easily could have won the Conn Smythe. And he's been reliable since then. In 36 total playoff games, Eichel has delivered 39 points, good for an 89-point pace. So there you have it. You have 11 playoff risers across the 8 second-round contenders. Let me know what you guys think. Who is your favorite team's X Factor, and who's going to win the Conn Smythe this year? Be sure to leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and we will talk again soon.